Look out. The playoff races are heating up. It's week 7. The college football playoffs are heating up. Not just in the SEC, but all across the nation. From top to bottom, you have some marquee matchups this week. Week 7, ladies and gentlemen. I thought week 5 was going to be epic. Week 7 is going to be epic. One thing I can guarantee you about this week in college football, week 7, by the end of the night, we'll pretty much have an idea of how the SEC is going to turn out, and we'll pretty much have an idea of who the playoff participants will be. Get your popcorn ready. Let's talk about it. I'm Amondo Black, and this is the Dog Call.
To go top.
Good afternoon, and welcome to another edition of the Dog Call. I'm your host, Amondo Black. It is week 7. I am so excited. We're in playoff mode. We are currently right now in playoff race mode. This is, from this point forward, it's a playoff race. Not just in the SEC, but in the ACC, the Big 12, and especially the Big 10 this week. And I'm going to go briefly into that, what's going on all across the country. But first things first, welcome everyone. Make sure you hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed, shame on you. Hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell as well. Let's get into it. First things first. The news about Lamar for the Georgia Bulldogs, 5-star recruit that out of Colquitt County. And I just want to give my brief opinion on that. We're RBU. If we have, honestly, we have 99 problems, but a running back issue is not one. And the thing is, with the transfer portal era and the NIL era, you can always go into the transfer portal and get you a good running back. If you can't get anything else, you can always go in the portal and get a damn good running back. We proved that with Josh McCray. Josh McCray started off the year battling with a few nagging injuries, but as you can see, he's coming along and he's pretty much emerged into that number 2 spot at RBU. Okay, so Georgia is still RBU. Next year, we're definitely going to be good. I don't know if McCray has another year of eligibility, but remember, Bowens is a red shirt freshman. Nate Frazier will be a junior next year if he decides to come back. Peanut will be if I'm not mistaken, I think he'll be a junior next year. Bo Walker, don't forget Bo Walker. Bo Walker is that kid, that true freshman. That kid is going to be something special. So it won't. Running back is not going to be an issue. So Georgia Bulldogs fans, calm down. I know some of you just when something like that happens, oh, the sky's falling. No, the sky's not falling. Running back is the least of our worries. I'm more concerned about, strengthening up that defense in 2026. But we're not talking about 2026 here today. We're talking about 25, the here and now. We are in the middle of a playoff race. And we have a very important game coming up with Auburn. I'm going to speak on that here shortly. But as a whole, the SEC is shaping up to be like a Royal Rumble situation. So you have so many teams that are in the mix vying for a playoff spot, college football playoff spot. And I made this prediction earlier in the season, and I'm going to make this prediction again. There are going to be some teams that a lot of college football fans feel that they deserve to get in the playoffs, and they will not. There are going to be a couple of teams that, in my opinion, that I feel that should get in the playoffs, but they're going to be left out. Not enough spots this year. Not enough slots this year for everyone to get in. 12 teams. Only 12 teams can get in, and really, actually, if you look at it, it's 11 because a group of 5 holds that 12th spot. So you're looking at 11 teams that has to be divided amongst the Big Ten, the SEC, the ACC, and the Big 12. In my opinion, I think the Big 12 will probably only get 1 team in. The ACC, not really sure. Florida State took a second loss last Saturday. Now we got to look at Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech is undefeated and Miami is undefeated. Now Georgia Tech has a couple of hiccups, like if they finish with 2 losses or 1 loss and then go into Charlotte and suffer a second loss, then that's a different conversation. But right now it's looking like the Big Ten could possibly get 4 teams in again. We got to see what happens if Illinois upsets Ohio State. This thing is going to get ugly. This thing is going to get very interesting. If Indiana takes care of business against Oregon, oh my goodness, the conversation is going to shift, and it's going to be like, is Indiana the team to beat in the Big Ten? Penn State has fallen off. I think mathematically they suffered. They're not out of it mathematically. They suffered their second loss in the upset against UCLA. But they have Indiana and Ohio State left on their schedule, and I don't think that they're going to be able to. I think that's just too much of a tall order. I honestly think Indiana is a better team than Penn State, and I most definitely think that Ohio State is a better team than Penn State. So the Big 12, like I said, I look at the Big 12 like I used to look at the Jackson 5. When I used to say it's Michael and everybody else, it's Texas Tech and everybody else. It's Texas Tech. Texas Tech owns the Big 12. And in my opinion, I think they will run the table, win that conference, probably unblemished. I can see Texas Tech going 13-0 the rest of the way and making it to the playoffs and being not just a host, but I think they would get one of the 4 byes in the playoffs. That's the way it's trending now. but we're talking about the here and now, and we're going to talk about the SEC. And I'm going to go ahead and unveil my top 5 for week 7 right now. And as you can see, the Alabama Crimson Tide has made an appearance in the top 5. And hey, listen, Alabama is in a damn good spot here. They have everything in front of them. Now, yes, I know Bama fans, you have a tough road, there's a tough schedule in front of you, but pay close attention to this. You have so many ranked teams ahead of you. Oklahoma will be ranked. Missouri will possibly still be ranked. Depending on what happens Saturday, Auburn may be ranked. South Carolina could sneak in. If they upset LSU, South Carolina could sneak in the rankings. There's a lot in front of Bama, and then that huge win over Georgia, over my Georgia Bulldogs in Athens. That right there is Bama will be able to use that. That's gonna look damn good on Bama's resume. So Bama's in a good spot. I could see a situation where Bama, and there could be a situation where Bama moves up to maybe 2 or 1 on this top 5 list by this time next week. So Bama is at number 5. The thing about it is, the team that Bama beat, the SEC teams that Bama beat, they were kind of trending down. Vandy and Georgia, neither one of them are on my top 5 list, as you can see. I don't know about anyone else's, but on my top 5 list, I have 4 undefeateds and 4 undefeateds, overall undefeateds, and 1 team that is lost, but they lost outside of the SEC, and that is Bama. At number 4, Missouri. Now, that Bama-Missouri game, Missouri needs this game. Missouri needs this game because the Missouri schedule is kind of soft. They don't really have, other than Texas A&M, okay, so they don't really have another big dog on their schedule, and they need this one. They need this one. This game right here. If Missouri can win this game, this would pretty much guarantee a smooth path for them to the playoffs. Long as they take care of business against Auburn. A&M, they could lose to A&M, get to Atlanta, maybe lose that SEC game and still get into the playoffs. But they have to take care of business Saturday against Bama. Both teams need this game. Bama needs this game because Bama cannot afford another hiccup, and Missouri needs this game as well because of remember what I was saying at the top of the show. If you're in a situation where you're 9-3 and your schedule is kind of weak, and you're being paired up against a 9-3 Notre Dame or 10-2 Notre Dame, your chances is going to be slim to none. They're going to give the nod to Notre Dame, and you're going to be the odd man left out. But with a win on your resume, a win against this Alabama Crimson Tide right now, a lot of analysts are picking them to win the SEC. A lot of analysts are high on Bama. Vegas is high on Bama. If you can beat them right now, this Bama team, they're hot right now. They're rolling. If you can beat them, that will look damn good on your resume, Mizzou. But these are the games that Eli Drinkwitz has had issues winning. Let's go back to 2023 when Missouri came to Athens and played Georgia. In my opinion, they could have and should have won that game. If Connor Cook wouldn't have thrown the ball directly at Stackhouse, take away that play, Mizzou probably would have won that game because Mizzou pretty much outplayed my Georgia Bulldogs in 2023. It's games like these is what has kept Mizzou from going to the next level. But we'll see. They have a chance here Saturday. They have a golden opportunity here Saturday to do something special for the program, to take this program to a level that it hasn't been, a level that it hasn't been to since you got to go back to 2023. The last 2013 and 2014, the last time that a Mizzou team was in the runnings or had a chance to play for a national championship. 2013 is really the closest, to be honest with you, because had they won that SEC championship game against Auburn, Mizzou would have been playing Florida State in the BCS title game out in the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, and not instead of Auburn. So OU, what can I say about this team? Kind of got hit by the injury bug at the worst possible time. Listen, me as a college football fan, I can't think of a worse time to lose your starting quarterback. I can't think of a worse time to lose your starting quarterback than losing them right before a rivalry game. You lose your starting quarterback right before a rivalry game, that is just a stroke of bad luck. But people are sleeping on Michael Hawkins. I think Michael Hawkins, and because the point spread right now is at 1.5, I think Michael Hawkins can do something special for this team on Saturday. He's playing behind a better O-line. See, a lot of people are looking at last year. People, OU fans, you got to put that out of your mind. This is a totally different OU team. Different O-line. The O-line has improved. You have better weapons. Michael Hawkins is going to be working with better weapons. They have a better running game. And he has, on the other side, he has a hell of a better defense to slow the other team's offense down. So listen, I think I'm going to say this. Even with John Mateer, there's no doubt. With John Mateer, guaranteed, I think Oklahoma will beat Texas by multiple touchdowns with John Mateer. Without John Mateer, with Michael Hawkins starting at QB1 this Saturday, I think it will be a close, defensive, grinded out ball game. Could be something like 17-14 or 17-16 or 13-10 or something like that. But I think Oklahoma could pull this off with Michael Hawkins. The kid he's not a scrub. The kid has great potential. Had he would have transferred, which thankfully he didn't for OU fans, but had he would have transferred, I think he could have went to another school and been QB1. That's how much talent this kid has. And if you do not wrap him up in space, if he gets past, if the linebackers for Texas are going to have to wrap this kid up, because if you do not wrap this kid up and you do not get him on the ground, he has the capability of gashing you for 70 or 80-yard touchdown run. That's the level of talent that this Hawkins kid has. So do not sleep on this kid's ability to lead Oklahoma to a win. Now, remember now, when you have a defense, an elite defense like Oklahoma has, you don't need Michael Hawkins to go out there and try to be the hero and win the game for you. You just need him to manage the game and extend drives and win on third down. This is where this game is going to be won and lost. Texas A&M, you got to be careful here. You got to be careful. You have a hot Florida Gator team coming into your stadium. And the knock on Texas A&M over the years, because this is not the first year that Texas A&M has had elite talent on their roster. They've had it other years. The problem is they will lose games like this. You cannot lose games like this. Even though this Florida team is hella talented, very talented on both sides of the ball, and Dallas Wilson gives that offense a huge boost, Texas A&M is, in my opinion, is still the better team, especially in the trenches. I think that Texas O-line can hold off that Florida D-line, can hold off that Florida pass rush, and give Reed enough time to cook and do what he have to do. I think those Texas A&M wideouts, I think they could get separation from those Florida DBs. The Florida's secondary is their weakness. Like a lot of other teams in the SEC, the Florida secondary is their weakness. As bad as Arch Manning played, as bad as he played Saturday, he was still carving that Florida secondary up late in the second half. So those are things to look at. Marcel Reed, he's going to have to make some key passes. He's going to have to put the ball in some tight. He's going to have to complete some passes in tight windows. He's not going to be able to line up and depend on the running game and line up and run and run and run. You're not going to be able to do that on this Florida defense. Even Texas, as good as their running backs are, they were not able to just line up and run on that Florida Gator defense. You got to get them in the air. You're going to have to be able to move the ball in the air, and this is where Marcel Reed and Texas A&M can make a huge statement to not only the rest of the SEC, but the rest of the nation, and say, hey, we are elite. We belong in the top 10. We are elite. So this is going to be a very important game for Mike Elko and the Texas A&M Aggies. This is going to be like a program changing moment for Texas A&M. It is very imperative that they win this game against Florida. Very imperative. Ole Miss, in my opinion, right now, they still look like the best team in the SEC. They're waiting in the wings for my Georgia Bulldogs. They'll be playing my Georgia Bulldogs next Saturday. They'll be coming to Athens. Now, speaking on my Georgia Bulldogs, we have a tough one coming up against Auburn. And I'm telling you, fans, listen to me real good. This is a must win. Yes, I predicted that Georgia would lose 2 games this year, but this can't be one of them. Yes, I did and predict them to lose to Auburn, but I had them beating Bama. But losing 2 this early in the season is not a good look. It will not be a good thing, especially when you have Ole Miss, Florida, Mississippi State, Texas, and Georgia Tech left on your schedule. Georgia, just like Bama, has a gauntlet left. They have a gauntlet left because you're going to have a situation where Ole Miss is going to be in the top 5 come next Saturday. Florida could easily be ranked, depending on what happens in College Station. Mississippi State is no pushover. Texas could be ranked. They're unranked right now, but they could easily be ranked by the time we play them. And Georgia Tech could be in the top 10. This schedule is a hell of a lot tougher than a lot of us thought at the beginning of the season. So get your popcorn ready. We're in the middle of a playoff race. And I just want to say this to all my fellow Georgia Bulldog fans. If this thing goes the other way, I'm hoping and I'm praying and I'm picking Georgia to win this game. But if it does go the other way, I don't want to hear no Debbie Downer talk and all of this, the sky's falling and all of it, because we knew that this would be a rebuilding year. This is a rebuilding year. This is not a reloading year. 2023 was a reloading year when we lost Jalen Carter and Javon Bullard and all of them, and we were able to come in and just, plug and play in 2023 and still have an undefeated season. That was a reload year. Last year, the beginning of the rebuilding actually started last year, because last year our offense was just it was below standards. Put it like that. It was below standards of what we've been witnessing the last 5 years. It was below standard. We didn't have a elite receiver on the roster at all. The only elite receiver that we had on the roster, Kobe Young, he missed over half of the season. So this year, in my opinion, we're more talented on the offense, but there are other issues in the trenches. We've taken a step back. It's just, it is what it is on both, especially on the defensive side. We're last in pass rush. We're last in pressuring the quarterback, and we're last in havoc plays in the SEC. And that's, to be honest with you, how far do you expect them to get with that? I think Schumer is a part of the problem. I never really was feeling Schumer running the defense. Now I like him being on the staff because he's a hell of a recruiter, but him running the defense, I think Kirby needs to bring someone in, a more seasoned veteran, someone that is a defensive guru like him, and run that damn, like Will Muschamp. I don't give a damn what the price tag is. Offer Will Muschamp whatever he wants to come back and run that defense, or go and get someone else. Sometimes you just have to go outside the family, and that's one thing I noticed about Kirby. He don't really like going outside the family to improve the situation here, but he did it with Todd Monken. Because back in 2019, a lot of you remember James Coley. Remember, we got booed in the Kentucky game in Sanford Stadium. And at the end of the year, Kirby, I really feel if he wouldn't have brought Todd Monken in, we would have never won those 2 national titles. Todd Monken made a huge difference. Sometimes you have to go outside of your element. You have to go outside of the family to bring someone in order to build something special. Mike Bobo, the offense has improved. Comparing this year to last year, the offense has improved. So, and the issues that we're having on defense it's not Mike Bobo's fault. Okay, even the Bama game, if you want to look at the Bama game, yes, there were some questionable calls made in a couple of drives at the end of the fourth quarter, but we shouldn't even been in that situation. It's not Mike Bobo's fault that Nate Frazier fumbled the ball. It's not Mike Bobo's fault that Taylor dropped a clear breadbasket, wide open pass that Gunner just put right in his hands, and for whatever reason he dropped it. That's not Mike Bobo's fault. That's not Gunner Stockton's fault. And I hear a lot of Georgia fans, they want to point fingers or whatever. The thing is, this is a rebuilding year. This was a rebuilding year. I never really expected us to win a national title this year. I was hoping that we could be good enough to make it to the playoffs and make it interesting, but this is not a national championship team here. Not as is. Now, I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I hope I'm wrong. But I'm just being honest with you. You just look, we're in week 7. And for those of you that are hoping and praying and thinking that miraculously this defense is going to turn into the 2021 defense, and you're living in la la land. What you see is what you get. It is what it is. We don't have anyone on the D line. We don't have an elite pass rusher on the D line. I was hoping that Chris Cole would do something, but Chris Cole is not that guy. He's not that guy. He is no Jalen Walker. He is no Mikal Williams. He's no Adam Anderson. He's nowhere on that level. Trayvon Walker, he's nowhere near on that level. Nowhere. So it is what it is. We don't have an elite pass rusher. Our linebackers are okay. C.J. Allen is okay, but he's no Nakobe Dean. He is no Nakobe Dean. He's not a Nolan Smith. He's not on that level. I don't even think he's on a Smile Munden. I don't even think he's on that level. Or Dumas Johnson. So he's a little bit above average. But we had elite talent on defense. Channing Tindall, Nolan Smith, Nakobe Dean, Trayvon Walker. We had elite talent on that defense and on that D line. Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Sawyer. We had elite talent. We don't have that this year. So you can point the finger here. You can point the finger at Gunner. You can point the finger at Mike Bobo. You can point the finger at Schumer. But the true fact is, and Kirby warned us back in August, that this is a very young team. This is a very young team with at least damn near 40 freshmen on the roster, true freshmen on the roster. This is something that Kirby has not had to deal with since he's been in Georgia, with a lot of young talent on the team. So Georgia fans, don't be surprised if by December, not only we're not qualifying for the playoffs, but we're sitting there with 3 or 4 losses. Don't be surprised, because the level of talent is young. The talent is young, and they have not developed yet. It takes more than a spring practice and a one fall practice. It takes more than that. These kids are not just gonna. There have been some situations where true freshmen have came in and balled out. A.D. Mitchell, Brock Bowers. We've seen situations like that. AJ Green, Past and Petard, Gurley, you can name them. They came in and balled out. DJ Shock that came in and balled out true freshman year, but everybody don't have that in them. Just because they're a 5-star, that don't mean they're gonna come in and ball out their true freshman year. So I'm just saying to Bulldogs Nation, no panicking. No panicking. No panicking. I'm picking Auburn. I'm picking Georgia to beat Auburn, but I'm going to be totally honest with you. I don't feel good about it. I don't feel good about that secondary. I don't feel good about the tackling in that secondary. I don't feel good that Everett could stay with Coleman one-on-one. And I'm praying that Schumer and T-Rob double teams Coleman, because he's going to need help. I don't think that he can cover Coleman one-on-one. I just don't think Everett has the talent to cover Coleman one-on-one. Coleman is elite. He's an elite receiver. And he's a big body receiver. I don't have the confidence in our pass rush to take advantage of Auburn's O-line, which I think the O-line, Auburn's O-line, going through the same issues we're going through. They're young, but talented. So who's to say that this couldn't be the game that they wake up and play lights out? They're at home. It's a night game. It's a must-win game. It's an elimination game for Auburn. And it's Cam Newton's retirement ceremony night. So when I tell you that place, you thought Neyland was loud. Jordan Hare, you have no idea how loud it's going to be Saturday night in Jordan Hare. So, like I said, I'm picking Georgia to win, because we've seen Georgia in this situation before. And Georgia's this team right here fights to the end. They're never say die team. And there are some issues with Auburn that we could take advantage of and steal this game. But to be realistic about the situation, I don't feel good about it. I really don't, because I'm just going off of what I've seen so far this season. I just, no pass rush. The pass rush was suspect against Austin P. We didn't get no pressure on Aguilar. We didn't get no pressure on Ty Simpson. And that kid from Kentucky last week, we got a little pressure on him, few havoc plays on him, but only 2 sacks. Only 2 sacks. And Kentucky has one of the worst pass protection. They're one of the worst pass protecting teams in the nation. And we only managed 2 sacks. I think Auburn's O-line is hella better than Kentucky. So in order to pull this one off, we're going to have to be on our A game. And this, just like for Auburn, this is a must win. This is a must win, because if we lose this game, that puts us in a bad, I mean a very bad situation. We could be looking at a 3, maybe a 4-loss season for the first time since Kirby's first year at Georgia. This team is very young and not on the level of those 3 teams that went undefeated in the regular season. I'm just being totally honest. But hey, I hope I'm wrong, but we'll see. But this is my top 5. If you agree, leave a comment in the comment section. If you disagree, leave a comment in the comment section. Also, just leave me your top 5. Who would you have at top 5? What order would you have your top 5 in? I think I did a damn good job here. I think I did a damn good job here, because hey, you have the top 4 are undefeated. They haven't lost. They're perfect so far. And at number 5, Bama. But some people can make a case that Bama should be higher than Missouri, but everything is going to work itself out. Everything is going to work itself out. This thing could look totally different. Who's to say, hey, maybe next week, my Georgia Bulldogs may work their way back in the top 5, but they got to take care of business against Auburn. They got to take care of business against Auburn. So on that note, I want to thank you all for coming out. Make sure you hit that like button. Like, share, and subscribe this video, and subscribe to the channel. And everyone, thank you all. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Hey, we're in week 7. And listen, tell you like this.
The views and opinions expressed by the panel guest does not reflect those of Armando Black TV and 20 East Media Network.
Apologize about that, everybody. Apologize about that. Sometimes StreamYard be tripping. Sometimes StreamYard be tripping. But everyone, enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Peace and blessings to you all. Week 7, I am so excited about it. And we're going to talk more about this later on this week. Going to do a joint live with D Truth. He's an Auburn fan. That's my bro. He's with 20, my partner in 20 East Media Network. We're going to do a joint live together, probably Friday. He has his War Eagle Zone, and I have the Dog Call. So we'll do a War Eagle Zone versus the Dog Call. So everyone, thank you all for coming out. Peace and blessings. Enjoy the rest of your day. And like I always say, no matter what, from the cradle to the grave, it's always going to be go Dogs. Sick 'em. Woo, 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 woo. Everyone, enjoy the rest of your Wednesday.